Thanks everyone for joining us. This session is for all TRIO programs, creating a dynamic TRIO policies and procedures manual with Microsoft OneNote. My name is Lisa Redamozo. I'm a founder and executive director of the Nosotros Education Center. This is just part of a series of free workshops, letting you know about some things we're working on, getting maybe you all started or providing you with information that's out there, but collecting it or reserving a time to talk about it. I've been the running NEC for about 20 years, but I go back 30 years in TRIO, and oh my God, that sounds terrible. I'm so old there. But I can't do this without a great team of consultants that are so awesome and on top of things with OneNote and the latest and greatest things. And one of them is Donna Walls, our marketing and communications consultant. I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself for a minute. I know she loves to do this, especially since I told overnight she found out she was co-presenting. But I said, Donna, I can't let you not have some of the glory and the fun of doing this, right?
Yeah, I definitely prefer to be behind the scenes, but
Yes.
Lisa pulled me in this time.
Dragged her in, kicking and
Yeah,
screaming.
but I've been working with Lisa for, I keep thinking I'll go back and look and see when the first invoice was that I sent, but it's been at least 5 years,
Don, I think
maybe
it's
more.
closer to 6 years. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Otherwise, it feels like a million years, right?
Yeah. So anyway, my background is in technical communication, technical writing and editing, and so I've been doing that for many years, and I even worked on some Microsoft textbooks back in the day.
Mhm.
But then I moved on when to website development and done all kinds of marketing and just editing type things. And so that's what I'm trying to help Lisa do. So
And I'm telling you, she's behind all the good stuff you see is Donna. Okay. If anything bad you don't like, that's me. But Donna has taken us to the next level. I'd still be probably looking for my next gig if it hadn't been Donna to really bump up our marketing and communications consultants. So thank you, Donna. As always, we also have Halen Dorsey with us. I don't know if you want to pop up for a second. I know you were just coming in on your during your other gigs. So if you want to, you can, or otherwise just wave to the folks. And Halen Dorsey is also part of our team, our project manager, and she's also been a big person to hold my hand through this Microsoft this me loving and wanting to work in Microsoft Teams and all the features. There's so many things in there, y'all. Just a little reminder here, Nosotros Education Center, we do provide these services here that you've seen. Obviously, you know about us. One of the many services that we do is helping people develop their policies and procedures manual. So why this free webinar? Well, just to let you know that this is something y'all can do on your own. You don't need to hire someone to do it, but what you probably don't have is the time. And that's where we help out. And also the expertise of knowing OneNote and helping you transition over to OneNote or Google platform if that's what you prefer. So just let us know, keep us in mind if you need someone to assist you, provide you with individual assistance to get this done or to complete it or convert what you already have to go online. Check it out. At the very end of this presentation, you'll see there's a coupon for 20% off on the development of policies procedures manual. But like I said, all this you can do on your own if you have the time. And that's what a lot of us didn't. As a director, that's what I didn't have. I didn't have the time. We have the time. We have a team that can help you. It's an allowable cost, professional development, and also getting you in compliance as well. And uh, I think a relief or some sort of, wouldn't it be great to know that all your stuff's in one dynamic area that you can update as needed so that once someone helps you set it up, then you can take it to the next level and just maintain it. In the Google Drive, I'm just going to briefly talk about that. In the Google Drive, you will see, and you should be seeing my screen. Let me know, ladies, if this is not showing up. I'm just going to keep on going. There's a folder there that has some sample TRIO policies, procedures, table of contents, TOC table of contents there, outlines. Those are for you all to use as you need to. I left them in Word in case you want to download them and go ahead and compare them what you currently have. There's no right or wrong for a policies procedures manual. It just has to make sure you feel comfortable with it and it covers everything that you need. And maybe there's a couple of things there you thought about, you didn't think about, or maybe if you want to share, I would love to see, because that's where we get our ideas. Those are really a hybrid of what we've seen and picked and selected from other folks or table of contents we've done in the past. So you can check that out. There's for all the TRIO programs there. Then we have a bunch of OneNote tutorials here. We'll look at them a little later. And then this PowerPoint, and then also a quick start for OneNote 2024. Okay, just wanted to share that with y'all. Going to go back to the presentation now that I cannot find. So bear with me. Too many screens, right? So I'm going to go back to this. I think I'm sharing. Okay, great. Awesome. So why OneNote, for example? Well, but before, as a reminder, in case you needed this, okay, in case you need to make a case for going completely digital, here it is, 200.336 from the uniform guidance. Basically, I'm not going to read it to you, but here it is. The department is encouraging, all federal departments are encouraging us to go digital. Just have to make sure that there's a way that you can access this paper or produce a hard copy if needed. That doesn't take days or weeks to get to convert over. So it can't be so dynamic and so stored in the cloud that it takes weeks for you to convert it over to paper form if needed. Okay, so people usually ask about that. Is this allowable? Can we do this? And I'm like, not only is it allowable, yes, they want you to do this. The thing is, you got to also make sure, I have to remind you that you must check with your agency or institution. If they still want you to keep all your project records hard copy, then they win. Whoever's stricter wins with all the regulations and your and uniform guidance and your program regulations. So if your agency or institution has a more rigorous definition, then we go by that, including years that they want you to keep the information. Whoever is the stricter wins, okay? But in case you wanted that, it's right there. It's very common nowadays for people to look at that. So what are some of the benefits for utilizing OneNote for your policies, procedures over PDF or paper or Word? Well, I love it because it's centralized and organizes all my information. It's a digital notebook to create sections, pages, also subpages to structure your policies and a procedures manual. And also I can go ahead and move it around. You know, do you ever do that? You ever do it with a table of contents and you think you have everything in the right place, and then you decide, no, that's totally wrong. I want it over here. It makes more sense. That's what you can do. But I love how it keeps everything in one place and easy to access so that you're not looking all over the place for, where did I have that latest link for that policy and procedure? Where is that form? Where's the link for that? I don't have the latest version, all right? Easy collaboration, that's another big plus. It allows for real-time collaboration, so you could set it up so your project staff members can work on certain parts of the policies, procedures to update it at the same time, which is very hard to do on a Word document. You could do it, but it gets a little messy, and then copy and pasting, moving things around. And this is helpful when you want input from the rest of your project staff regarding certain policies or procedures, or actually when you need to kind of check off or assign things for them to read. Maybe it's not so much that you want them to edit or revise or to modify it. Maybe you want to mark off that they read that policy. You know, and this could be one way where it documents if that was read by inserting a task or a check mark there. And again, it streamlines the collaboration process and it reduces the need for version control issues. How many times have you said that's the outdated version? You're not looking at the latest one. I know that it drives me crazy when I can't find it or I work on the wrong version. I also like that it works very nicely with the Microsoft Office tools. So it seamlessly integrates with Word, Excel, Outlook. What really is cool is that it'll let you put in files, tables, spreadsheets, emails into the manual if you need to, you know, even videos as well, or audio recordings, a combination of those, whatever makes more sense depending on the policy. So now instead of Word or PDF where you just have the words there, you can make it very interactive, or you could actually put a video explaining the process for whatever reason, you know, for identification, recruitment, selection. Maybe sometimes it's easier for you to do a video and upload it as to how something should be done. And it simplifies referencing or incorporating additional information into your policies and procedures. And we'll show you an example. We'll take you through a live demonstration of a combination where we've done a link to a website, plus a video, plus text, plus a PDF, and then a screenshot of the PDF. So it's not just a PDF, but you kind of get a screenshot of what the document should look like. All right. The flexibility and customization. I'm telling you, this is the number one thing I love. Flexible. I can use bullet formats, numbering tables, images to make it visually appealing, something I want to work on, something I want to go to, instead of, you know, a PDF or a Word document. It should be a dynamic in the sense that I can modify it, I can change it, it's visually appealing, and also it is something I look forward to updating. All right, and you can customize the layout and structure to suit your project's needs. You can move it around. You can do a whole bunch of stuff without having to worry about page numbers and all that stuff. Searching, looking for things. It already has a built-in search feature. You can use your phone to look stuff up if you need to, an iPad, and also going through the sections. So it's very easy to read off an iPad, a phone, even your iPhone if you're on the go, to look for things. So I really appreciate that as well. And again, it's available across your platforms, different browsers, your iPhone, Android phone. And that means if you need to work on it or update it, you can look at it at different devices. And it's very convenient. And sometimes you can update policies on the go. Ever have a situation happen where you're like, no, or that wasn't clear, and you're not wanting to turn on that laptop or the computer? I love being able to, on my phone, just go in there. You know what? I need to clarify this, or I need to add something real quick before I forget. If I don't do it now, I will forget and it'll never get done, and it comes back to haunt us. You also have updated versions automatically so that you don't lose any changes or updates, which is great. And also you have a version history, so you can see older versions and restore them easily, which is sometimes a little difficult to do with Word and PDF if you don't have a million of, well, saved as of this date, saved as of this date. And then at the bottom, always have the latest date revised. So it's another thing that's kind of automatic. And again, this is just in case there's accidental deletion. Sometimes maybe you forgot to lock a page, or something has happened, or it just allows you and makes me feel a lot better, like I'm not messing something up, because I can always go back to an older version. And I like that because I make mistakes. I can't tell you how many times I've done something and said, no, I want it this way. And then I went back and read the question again. I said, oh, no, I should put it back. And, you know, it's kind of a hassle to do that, but OneNote makes it easy. It's also easy updates and maintenance. And you can make it as easy as you want. Start simple. You can add, edit, delete content, and you can make sure it always stays current. And it also allows you to convert it over to PDF. When you need to be able to have that, when you have a compliance assessment, or your supervisor or the Department of Ed says, you know what, no, I don't want to log on to you. I don't want to be a guest on your teams to see it. I want a PDF. Email me a PDF. Okay, got it. So again, all these options here: centralized organization, collaboration capabilities, integrations with other tools, flexibility, easy search, navigation, accessibility, version history, simplifying updates and maintenance are all positives. And I think all these advantages is what we need in Trio, because this is what we need. We were constantly changing things. We constantly, especially nowadays, need a link to a letter, or a policy has to be set up on Facebook. I see every day, I see at least, you know, 5, if not more, and I'm not looking all day long, but issues or circumstances that come up where people are asking for assistance and how to handle a situation. I keep thinking, that's going to be a policy. That's going to be a policy. That's going to be a policy. Not that it has to be a page long. You know, it can be short and sweet, but some of these things need to be put in writing, and it's very easy to do that in OneNote, and also use AI to help you write policies. That's the other thing that we do here at NEC is getting people set up. And if you don't have a policy in place for, you know, we're not talking about institutional or agency policies, but about project policies and procedures. then we help them build, and we use a lot of the AI tools, plus our experience of having been directors and Trio folks to fine tune that so it's customized for what you possibly need. And that's kind of the fun part, is filling in the gaps, because initially when you go to set this up, you're going to realize, rightfully so, that there may be some gaps, like I don't have that, or oh, that's missing, I want that, and that's okay. What you should do, and let me go ahead and click this, and I will bring up student support services, the table of contents here. Policies, procedures, TOC stands for table of contents. And I hope you can see this. We're good. Y'all let me know if you can't see it. Otherwise, I will move on.
We can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you. I got paranoid after the other day where I was going on and people, excuse me, you're not showing your screen. All right. So again, here's just one sample. It's not the best. It's not the worst. We like it, but you may not like the order of it, depending on your need. Maybe this information here you want to put at the very end, and you want to get straight to the nitty-gritty about what your project does, specifically. But this is one order. The first thing is to come up with an outline. And I would do it in Word initially, so you can move it around, but it's not going to be permanent, because even if this is set up in either Google Drive or OneNote, you can move it around later on. It's very easy to do so. It's not that easy if it's in Word or PDF. It's a whole bunch of formatting issues that happen. But for example, imagine that your first
Is that
section
over there now?
Okay, you want to mute yourself?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, so overview of college, or obviously all SSS programs are with a college. So we're, if this was for talent search or EOC or Upward Bound, you would see agency or college, but this is for SSS, so they have to be at a college. So, and I forgot to put hyperlink. So these things could be hyperlinked to your institution's webpage that already talks about these items. So it could be a combination of hyperlinks. You don't have to, or you could copy and paste the narrative here, or do both if you wanted to. Then an organizational chart highlighting the project's placement within the college. That would have come from your proposal, your plan of operation, where it showed how your project fell under the hierarchy of the college, university, or agency. Then, depending on your program, if this is SSS, you probably want to have some links, a combination of screenshots of all these items here that relate to the national program. And this is, again, where NEC can go ahead and help you by going ahead and doing this, because we have this ready to go. Except now some of the links don't work, right, Donna, because of the department going ahead and changing their website on us. How dare they, without letting us know, right? Then overview of the SSS project at the college. So what's the history of the SSS project at the college? And, how long has it been there? Is it a legacy program? Is it fairly new? How much is it funded to serve? That's just maybe a couple of lines, a paragraph at the most, a short, sweet paragraph. That's something that also NEC can help build. Then uploaded copy of the funded proposal, funded CPPs, the technical review forms. Those are the forms that the readers put their scores on. Those are very helpful later on. The project staff's organizational chart. Again, that's something that NEC can help you build if you don't already have one that shows percentage of time and effort. How about staff directory and their contact information? Project staff minimum requirements and job descriptions. How about new project staff checklists? Again, that's something that NEC can help you with if you don't have that. What about project staff meeting schedule? When are y'all going to meet? How often? And also, what about a listing of professional development offered by the college or by Trio, or the plan to provide that professional development? Then we get into the plan of operation, which I think some people may want to move this to the very top, since they are going to be utilizing most of these sub tabs anyway, more often possibly. So I can see how someone would say, you know what, Lisa, I prefer to have this first, and the history and all that stuff at the very bottom. I'll just have new folks, I'll tag them to onboard and read those things. And then maybe I'll tag them to read some of these items. What about your project, your logic model? Again, if you don't have one, or if you'd like to make it look, now, since you're not restricted to space, font, or anything like that, you may want to jazz it up and make it look really good. What about your program profile form? The objectives on there, that's very important, the actual wording. Maybe you have from your proposal, a lot of these things, NEC can help you copy and paste from your proposal or modify them and make them more visually appealing, or you can do it. Copy and paste the table. Everyone in the plan of operation had a table where they said these are the objectives and these are the services. So you can copy and paste that rather than recreate it, or you can use Canva to, make it look fancier or better. What about your activity timeline of activities and events? You may have one for every year. What is your plan to identify, recruit, and select participants? These two things, again, that can initially come from your proposal, which provides you at best an outline, but this is where you could start with that language and then add to it. And then you can add links to forms. You could add links or videos describing, or you could just make it very interactive or pad it so that it's a complete, very thorough identification and recruitment of participants instead of the outline that you're forced to give the readers. The proposal, yes, is great to get you the money, but the proposal is not the best. And the answer for identification and recruitment of participants that's in the proposal is not the best answer just to copy and paste and leave as is for your policies, procedures manual, for your management plan. At best, it's the outline. It needs to be updated, tweaked, modified, adding in deadlines, timelines, tasks, who's responsible, links to forms or links to other places within your teams or your institution, wherever you're storing things so that the latest and greatest things are there. And then if you use links, then when you update forms or documents in another place, then the link will still stay the same. So you won't have to worry about updating a form here and then going into Teams and updating at the same time. So these are from your proposal. And what NEC does is we initially copy and paste from your proposal these answers, but we're like, okay, now take it and modify them. This is what it was in the proposal to get funded. That's why it's called a proposal. Now you need to update it, and you can put in links as to when things were updated, things were changed, and also put in more detail, because that's exactly what you need. You need more detail than what's in the proposal. The proposal plan of operation is not enough to run the program. What about your listing or links to your academic services, materials, and resources? What about how y'all document and verify services provided to participants? That may have just been mentioned in 2 or 3 sentences in the proposal, not enough. What if you give out grant aid? What's the eligibility and also your selection procedures? Two different things. We should have indication or proof of the federal regulations allowing you to see who's eligible, but then you need to go ahead and state your selection process, because you may have more students that are eligible than for the money you have available. So you have to explain, why did you select just some of the students? Then your documents and forms, there can be a link here or the actual form or both. But if you do a link, then whenever you go ahead and work on it, then the link gets updated. So sometimes I prefer to have links here, because once I update it from Word someplace else, then this will be updated, okay? Then we have, let's see here. And see, I have this trio current low income chart. Now I'm thinking, Donna, that I might prefer it to be up there mixed up with the SSS program regulations instead of here. You know what I'm saying? So that, not a big deal. I just take it out here. And then when I do OneNote, if it's already set up, I could just move it there. No biggie. No big, oh my God, I got to renumber the page, renumber the table of content, move this around. It's less hassle. What about for SSS project administration is what we call it? What about your formative, monthly, and year-end reporting procedures? What about your weekly or monthly dashboard reports, monthly and quarterly reports? And so each one of these would be a folder that would have your procedures on how to do that, and maybe an example as well. What about your annual performance reports? How do y'all work on that? When does that start working? What are the links to that, if any? What about your participant evaluation surveys? Again, each one of these you can make a sub-page, which, upward bound for their summer component, you can imagine you probably have a whole section here that could say academic component, summer component, and have a page with sub-pages that have information, have everything nicely organized, like your flyers, your release forms, your schedules, just for those summer versus academic year, nicely organized. Then don't forget your project database. You also want to have a breakdown that explains the data management plan, not necessarily how to enter in data. That would be your procedure database manual and user's guide. For those of you that have it online, it could be a link. Maybe you have, this already. You don't have to copy and paste the whole manual. You could just have a link. Beginning of your procedures when you manage your database. What about new student data entry? Who does what when? Who enters in the services? What about generating reports, generating the APR? And what about end of year procedures? Again, if you don't have all these or they're all incorporated, that's fine. But if you think about it, no matter what you're utilizing, whatever platform you're utilizing, you do have beginning of year procedures for each system. You do have a way or when, how often, when does that database get updated? Whether it's any kind of specific database doesn't matter, but someone's got to do end of year procedures, no matter, what type of system you're utilizing. Then the budget's the big deal, right? So that's why I put budget here, which could mean that, there definitely is a way that internally how we manage the budget. Can that be explained by using QuickBooks for nonprofit or just a simple spreadsheet? What's the policy to reconcile with the institution or the agency's their budget, because they look different and you have to speak two languages, TRIO budget and also your agency or college budget, and also they're in a different time frame. What about grant aid distribution policies and procedures? Before we talked about the eligibility of students, if it's applicable, but how do you distribute those? How can you show, if anyone asked in writing, even though it's OneNote, we could always convert it to PDF, how you all distribute those funds? Ordering and purchasing procedures. Again, that could be set already for no matter if you're TRIO or your financial aid office. They might have the same ordering and purchasing procedures, which comes from the institution's policies procedures manual. So that's where you could do a link to that web page that does that. The same thing with travel. Maybe you have some specific rules internally, but then you could always add a link to the institution's policy. It's impossible, y'all, to have one manual that includes everything that the institution has in their policies procedure plus yours. Think it's got to be two separate documents or two separate entities. The college or agency will always have their separate policies, procedures. You will have one for your project. See how you can have links to the web pages that cover some things that have to go through the college and other things that are just yours. So you can have a hybrid approach, right? So I think up here, I failed to stress that. So right here, the second bullet here, that would be a hyperlink to the college's policies and procedures, right? To the web page. You probably need a code to log in and to access that information. But at least it's just a website. So you see, there's just no way that you can have everything listed there. It has to be brought into, it has to be kept separate. Okay. So let's see here. And then that. So you could go on and on. There's a million more things that you could list here. I just happened to highlight some of the major things, and initially possibly in this order, but then you can move things around. Okay. So let me go ahead and go on to the next thing we're going to talk about, now that we talked about that. All right. We also have in the Google Drive, okay, so we have some tutorials here. We have some OneNote, a PDF. We also have a video that I found that was really good, like for me to understand in these actually 6 videos on how to get used to using OneNote. We also, from the Microsoft website, there's a 28-page booklet digital on how to collaborate on OneNote, and also the OneNote Essentials. So again, if you're like me and you need to brush up on stuff or want to learn some more about OneNote, you're a visual learner like I am, or you want to read it, we tried to come up with some resources that you can look at as you hopefully consider utilizing Microsoft OneNote for your policies procedures manual. The other thing I wanted to share with you is the Quick Start, the 2024 Quick Start Guide that is out here. Let's see, you should be seeing this. It's taking a while to open up. So anyway, So maybe you're super visual and you prefer to look at it this way with a quick start, kind of telling you where everything is. And this is really helpful for me to kind of know where everything is as I open it up in a different screen. So I can kind of look back and see how it works. And hopefully this is something that you will utilize. And again, you don't have to use OneNote just for your policies procedures manual. You can use it for your handbooks, for student parent handbooks. Again, you can convert it to PDF if you need to distribute to students and parents. Also, for your academic component, your McNair, your research component internship, you can have the whole project here listed. In addition to having a notebook for your policies procedures manual, I can easily see you can have one for your research internship. You can have a one for the academic year component, the summer component, the CPPs. They can also have their own OneNote there where you can collaborate and do all these things, move things around, put everything almost like a scrapbook, so to speak. Okay. And then what I wanted to do now is, Donna, you're on. I know you've been waiting for this. I was going to have Donna take us through, or she's going to be my guide, because as you can see, I'm just glad I've got through being able to click these things and not lose y'all. But she's going to take us through a tour of a live demonstration of a policies and procedures manual we developed for Berry College, and they've been very kind to share what they've done. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
And let's see. And I don't know if anyone had any questions so far, or let's see, just chat comments. No, I'm rattling through this. I'm trying to do this. Is this required for every year or a policies procedures manual? I mean, in a compliance assessment, you would be asked to show evidence that you have one. And I guess if I was looking at and doing your compliance assessment, I would check to see when it was last updated. I did once, y'all, and it hadn't been updated. This is right before the pandemic. And the last time they'd updated was 2011. So I was like, you got to have something a little bit more. It's a whole, it's so old. But if you have a live version, then it's always going to be updated. It's always going to be updated. Okay, Donna, so thank you for sharing that. So hopefully y'all can see, I can see this pretty well. And as you can see on the very first tab, and you won't always have to have this, but what NEC also develops is we have a beginner's guide to OneNote. So we have a video that's there as well. And also Donna's gone ahead and recorded an introduction to your OneNote and your policies procedures manual. So it's customized as well, just to kind of give you a tour of where everything is. Again, you can do this yourself as well. We're doing this so not only the client is able to find where everything is, but then their staff, their project staff, if they kind of feel hesitant and they want to know, okay, how do I navigate this? And of course, initially there's a way, Donna, correct? We can save this so that people can't make edits unless we allow them to, right? So we don't worry about them messing stuff up.
Yeah, there is a way to manage access privileges. So
Right.
you can, give certain people edit access and others just viewable access.
Right, because sometimes you just want them to look. And then if we move on to the next tab is the table of contents. And see how we have the sections. I just shared with you a table of contents in Word. After that's discussed or decided upon, then when we click each link, then the sub tabs or the pages and the sub pages will come up. But let's say I decided to, instead of having the overview first, I wanted it last, see how things can easily be moved around. But when you click each link, or here or on the side, then we're getting into the overview of can you click the overview? There we go, history and mission, that one there. Thank you. So this, Donna, you got this from the website, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
usually try to put a link. I don't see a link here, but
it could have a link and the narrative and also a screenshot, which I think we have in some of the Department of Ed items. So this again is where NEC can help you with that, get you started. I think the org chart came from the proposal. And so again, this is straight from the proposal. And some people say, you know what, we'd like to have a more usable one. So, we could take this and help you with that. And then in the policies procedures, that is a link to the faculty staff handbook, not the project. So you do have within your project's policies, procedures menu, you have a link to the institution or the agency's policies, procedures. So whenever you need to navigate there, don't try to duplicate it. Just list and have links for what your project needs. And then when appropriate, hyperlink it to the institution's policies, procedures, okay? But don't try to come up with one massive document that copy and paste everything that's there. You won't be able to do that. So then let's go to the overview of Berry College.
Oh,
Yep.
Berry College.
There you go. And imagine, we just did that, right? My bad. Okay, the overview of the national program. And so again, this is following that table of contents I showed you earlier. This is where NEC has put a combination of hyperlinks, text, photos. You could even do videos. And then when she goes to the history of TRIO programs, and again, hopefully some of these links are working. So again, here is language about the TRIO programs and then hyperlinked. And we're going to test those out because the Department of Ed, switch stuff on us. Then for your SSS program website, for example, again, here's a combination of a screenshot plus a link, just to give it some more visual appeal besides just a link. And then so on to the regulations. And there's a link to Edgar. We also added on a link to, that should be Edgar, yeah. And so, yes, Edgar and uniform guidance. So here you can link to get to Edgar, you can link to get to uniform guidance. We also added a TRIO definitions and acronyms folder document. So you have the document, see how she uploaded a PDF of a document. That just means whenever that document gets updated, you'll have to update it again if you didn't do just a link. But then there's a visual of the document as well if you want to show both. So it's up to you. You can customize it there. And then the proposal for the college is listed there. And again, I think I did it differently on the table of contents because I thought about it. But here we have the old proposal and we have the submitted one that they're waiting on. Okay, that's listed there. So now let's look at the the overview of the SSS project at Berry. So again, here are the table of contents. You'll see that some things are done, some things are being worked on, some things have a link, like the Berry College hiring procedures. I'm not sure if that's active. So there you go. So now she has a direct link just to that part of the institution's policies, procedures. The logic model, some things are still being worked on, and that's the beauty of it. If you don't have it, or you could tag it and put it as a task, we figured out how to do that. So you could go ahead and almost like flag things that need to be updated, that you want to have updated, and come back to it later. I'm all about taking what you currently have and making it fit, and then flagging what's still missing. But don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you get started. Go ahead and put in what you have and flag what you don't have, and that's what you can work on, plus maintaining or updating the other things as needed. So you have project's organizational chart, project staff minimum requirements. Let's look at the new project staff checklist. This is something that you could also do. Yeah. And so that's a checklist. And then we also have and this is something I think we helped them develop. They didn't have something in place, so we went ahead with the help of AI and also our experience being directors, developed something and said, what about this? See how this works out well. Let's meet the SSS team. And this is something that she's going to note to self. So she put a note that she's working on a directory. She's either going to have audio, pictures of folks, and also video clips or pictures to not only introduce new staff to existing staff, but also have a place where they can have all their contact information, email address, whatever you want, codes, something like that. I'm sure they'll get to know that, but it's nice to kind of have something ahead of time. And then they also would put their leadership team for the students listed there as well. Something that she's working on. Professional development. She's put something there about when things, and this could be updated as needed. And then when they would have their staff agenda and meetings, they would do that. Okay, they're going to put a link. So this is where they'll start putting a link that they hold separately in another part of Teams or Word of all their meetings, agendas, and plan of operation. See that? So we've got the objectives from the grant. We've got a table linking the services. And then from their proposal, we have identification, recruitment, and selection. So again, this is short and sweet. This is not enough, but it's something for her to get started, and then she can add to it by typing things in or linking or revamping it in another area and having a link to it, or talking about it, or a combination of all those things. So you can see all the different parts of the proposal mainly are initially put there as the outline, and then we have documents and forms that are listed there as well. And this is where you could have a hyperlink to all these materials. Right here is where she would have her marketing recruitment materials, maybe a link or a folder. And the new student application, maybe it's online, but she could have a PDF or a link to it here. So it's all organized there. They're blank forms, they're master copies. And then project administration at the very end for now. All these things, each one of the tabs has a different, and you can do, let's see, Donna, it's super easy to, or you can show them how for the project database management, that page, but see all the ones underneath it are subpages. And at the very bottom, you could add a section, you could add a whole nother tab and another page, right, Donna?
Yes, you can add section here or page here. I like to just right click and do it from there.
That's true.
You can make things sub pages, promote them. If there's a page you want someone to work on, you can copy the link and send them an email and say, can you work on this page? So that's nice.
And like me, if you decide, I don't want this here, I want it under something else, you can actually move it around very nicely without worrying about that. So again, if you wanted to add another section, like let's say I want one just on, student aid, then you could, you could add right there in student aid. And that could be its own section if it's such a big deal. Like with the upward bounds, your academic component and your summer component should probably be its own section there. And then you can create pages, sub pages, and each one would be its own little category. And links, and kind of like a scrapbook where you put everything there, and then you could decide to organize it differently later on. But the main point is to get it organized and in a manner that's easy to navigate and move around. So you're not stuck with that table of content. Like it doesn't have to be the final table of content in case it drives you crazy later on and you want to revamp it. You can do it here all day long. Now, Donna, I want to confirm that if you can take them through the items listed on the top, the table, file, picture, all that stuff. And also, there's also loop mentioned there, loop components, and also about making this into a PDF if they need to.
Okay. Yeah, you can insert tables. It's you just choose the number of cells that you want, and you can edit it. It's not as robust as maybe tables in Word, it seems like to me, but it does work. And then and also I just wanted to note that I am using the Mac version, and so it may look a little different than the Windows version.
It looks the same to me so far, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this table or move to a different page.
There's pictures, insert links, and also I like I saw where you can assign and do a task as well. Where you can ask people to work on stuff or to read stuff to update it. And then on the PDF, I think there you go, right?
Oh yeah, you can insert as a printout, so that actually it inserts the link to it inserts the PDF, but it also, well, when it says print out, it doesn't actually print out, but it shows you the picture of each page.
So you can see it if you want to see both, so to speak.
Right. Or
But
you can just do the file attachment. So you have
whatever makes you feel like there's audio too. What I like is that you can take the whole workbook and pictures as well, and even take a camera. You can take the whole workbook, I believe, and make it into a PDF to share.
Yes, you can with the Windows version. You can, yeah, and it's I think it's either here or it's on the file menu where you can export it to a PDF.
So no more worrying about how do I get it into a format that somebody wants to see for whatever reason, and rightfully so. They may not want to deal with, looking at that online for whatever reason, right? So thank you, Donna, so much for doing that. I appreciate you. And this is all Donna and Halen, mainly Donna, because I didn't know how to utilize it. And they took the lead on it. And we've had, clients who trust us with, taking them here, taking it to the next level and doing it in OneNote. And we just wanted to share that information with y'all that you can do this. Again, it's always, I'm going to go ahead and share, Donna, if that's okay.
Okay.
It's always, time. So just putting in a coupon there, you can go to our website if you want more information. It usually takes a while. I mean, this is not a compliance assessment. This could take a whole semester. It could be as fast as you want it to be. With some clients, we get it done very quickly, setting up the outline, setting up the platform, and then working with them as needed. With some others are like, okay, let's do this part first, then this part. So it all depends on your timing and your schedule. Okay. So let's see if we have any questions. I don't know if we have any questions here. Questions. Is it possible to get a copy of the OneNote SSS Policy Procedures Manual? This is extremely helpful. I can ask, let me ask Samantha. We can always, would that mean a PDF, I believe, right? So let me ask if she would let us, or we can always give you, Donna, don't we have a template set up?
Yes, we do.
So let's do that. Let's give us a day or so to take that one and maybe make it look like Samantha's, and that way wouldn't have any of the specific project information that's uploaded, but we could possibly go ahead and upload a PDF of that. Okay, so we'll definitely look at that. Let's see, anybody else?
Someone was asking about recording, and this is being recorded.
Yes. Is the price 20%, or it's 20 well, the price, the 20%? I think no, it's that's the price without the 20%. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I probably should have made that clearer.
That's okay. Yeah, and then can we also receive a template for the, well, I mean, I guess, right, Donna, or else we could work on that, but you could build it from your the table, the Word table of contents. It's
Yeah,
ready.
it's the same as what's up there.
It's the same as what's up there, yes.
Pretty
And
much.
so we'll be more than happy to get you set up if you can we can get it all set up for you after you approve or look at the table of contents. What you get right now is those table of contents free of charge. Take whatever you want from it, make it look better. And then if you'd like for us to set it up for you, let us know, okay? And we're more than happy to set it up for you, or else you could do it on your own using Microsoft 365 is what we recommend. You could also set it up on Google Drive, but except I don't know, honestly, I don't know what features Google Drive has compared to Microsoft OneNote. And that's something else we're going to look at to see if there's anything comparable within Google, the Google Suite, in case you have to use it because your institution will not let you use that feature, OneNote. Okay. So I think we have all the chats answered. Again, and this will be recorded, and we'll have it on the blog tomorrow. Anyway, we wanted to share this information just to let you know that there's a way you could have a dynamic policies procedures manual, and you have the resources. You should have the resources to do it. The only thing you might not have is the time. And if you need the time and someone to help you build policies and procedures as you build your policies procedures manual, by all means, let us know. NEC is ready to go. It's an allowable cost. Many of y'all are getting approval on your carryover. So if you would like to meet with us or let us know, you can go to the NEC shop. And then when you purchase with the discount, or with any time you purchase, you should get a link that sets up our first meeting where we basically talk about your table of contents, work on that. And then Donna gets started on setting that up in your hopefully OneNote, or we can also do in Google Drive. Okay. So I think if we have any other questions, thank you. Hey, Erica. Thanks for joining us, y'all. I hope you have the great rest of your week. Let's go ahead and stop the recording.